Hi, I'm Aaron with Next Adventure, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Nucanoe Unlimited. All right, we'll go ahead and start right up here at the front. So first thing, you've got a nice handle here. It's a rubber handle, so it's pretty nice on the hand. There is an extra mount right in the bow here that you'll notice, a threaded in insert. And that's designed to put an anchor wizard mount up here. There's also some bow mounting trolling motor mounts that are compatible with this. Right behind that, we've got a new plate that's on this boat. We haven't seen this from Nucanoe before. This is a new feature that's gonna make wiring a lot easier. Basically, you've got a plate right here on the front, and then below that is a dedicated spot to go ahead and drill out. So if you're going to be running power cables for trolling motors or lines for your fish finder or any other power systems you're working with, you can easily adapt this to hold those wires. And if you want to change something or if you want to take them away later on, you can get a new plate from Nucanoe and just slap that right back on there, and it's like it was never there. On either side here, we've got the rod tip protectors. So if you're carrying extra rods and you want to keep the tips on the inside of the boat, not get hung up on the outside, we've got a nice channel here with some rod tip protectors there. Moving back, we've got a couple of inserts here on either side that have kind of been molded in that are designed to fit the Yak Attack through-hole wiring kit. So you've already got dedicated spots here. There's 4 on the boat. We'll show you in the back the other 2. But a nice easy spot to go ahead and drill that hole, run your lines that you need to run for your transducer or any other wiring solutions that you're looking for. We've got a nice open bow in the front here. So this allows a lot of different things to be done with this boat. You can either put a second seat up here, whether that be a bench seat or another 360 Fusion seat, and that allows for extra leg room up here. If you're a hunter and you're looking to take out a bunch of decoys, you've got plenty of space up front here to put a big bag of decoys, and then another one in the back even. So there's a lot of options with this boat, and you see that a lot with Nucanoe. They've got a pretty open design so that you can really change this and adapt it to exactly what you're looking to do on the water. All right, and then we've got our first bit of track right here up in the bow. This spot here is dedicated to lashing down something in the front. You can also put the new Nucanoe gear pod up front here, which is a removable dry solution for either running wiring, dry storage, whatever it is that you're looking to do. You can slap that right in here. Not available yet, but they are coming soon. These tracks are a new addition. Although we've always seen a lot of tracks with Nucanoe, these are now aluminum. So, and not only aluminum, they are drop-in aluminum tracks, which is completely new for them, which really opens up the amount of things that you can do with the tracks. We've also got tracks up on the gunnels now, which is a new thing for Nucanoe. Fantastic addition to this boat. You've now got the option to mount accessories all the way up on the gunnel without trying to rig something up or put a bunch of extensions to get it up where you want it. We've now got that option here as well as along in the back of the boat. There's just over 22 feet of track on this boat, so there's a lot going on as far as customization. And yeah, these drop-in tracks, if you haven't used these before, no longer do you have to slide everything off of your track. You just take your T-bolt, put it at an angle, and that drops right into place. So that means you can remove your seat without removing all of your fish finder, rod holders, everything else you've got rigged up. You can add things really easy. It's a really nice system. We've got one more track right here in the middle. This is just adding another spot that you can put things. You know, some people might like to have their fish finder head unit right in the center of the boat. This gives you the option to do that. All right, so here on the floor, we've got a new design on the entire floor of this kayak. They're calling this their tarpon design. You can see it's kind of got some fish scale look to it. But this does a number of things for us. Number one, we've got really deep channels here. So if you get any water that's coming over the bow, or perhaps you get some water that collects at the back of the boat when you're underway with a motor, It's going to drain right back out through these 7 scupper holes on this boat, which is really, really nice. You're never going to be standing in water in this boat. Another thing that these channels provide in this type of a design is more floor rigidity when it comes to standing and moving around on top of this boat. Anytime that you see features that dig in like this and have sharp corners, all of that is adding to the structure of the boat, which is going to give you a much better performance overall on the water, as well as reducing any of that moving around of the floor that you might have. We've got some nice foam EVA pad kits that come with the boat. And you'll notice that there's a little spot missing from this pad kit right here. And we'll talk about this when we look at the bottom of the boat, but there's a transducer well underneath this scupper hole right here. And this will be a system that you'll be able to retract and lower your transducer, which we've not seen from a lot of manufacturers. It's a great feature, and we're really looking forward to seeing those become available. We've got 2 big wells on the side here, on either side. You can use this to put your tackle trays or keep your pliers close at hand, and then you've got this nice ridge here that runs right out of this, so if any water does come in there, it's not going to sit, it's going to flow right back out through the scupper. Here on the other side of the boat, we've got the hardware already pre-installed when this boat arrives for the retraction kit, which you can use either with their pivot drive, with a torpedo motor, or anything else that you're doing at the back of the boat that you want to be able to lift and lower. Alrighty, then we've got 2 more of these electronic plates installed on either side of the seat here. So this again, just like the front one, there's a little well underneath here that's designed to be cut out, and then you can install any of your through hole kits on top of this, mount things directly to this, whatever it is you're looking to do. The other nice thing is we've got the transducer spot right here, so you're gonna have to deal with that cable. You can bring that cable from the transducer up through this little groove right here and install that right into this electronic plate, which is a nice, simple solution to get that taken care of and handled. Speaking of handles, we've got 2 handles on either side, or 1 on either side. These are the same handles that you'll see on the Flint model, and they're designed to be a paddle clip and a handle together. And you'll see on either side there is a groove that runs along that paddle clip to kind of nestle that paddle right into place. And then we've got the Nucanoe 360 Fusion seat. If you're familiar with Nucanoe, this is the same seat they've been using for a little while now. Very comfortable, very burly, made out of metal, very strong construction. It's got a 360 swiveling feature to it, so if you want to be able to turn and fish off the side of your boat, if you want to put a bow mount trolling motor up front and turn around and watch your rods as you troll, you can do that. A lot of different options with this seat here. It's also really nice that you can slide this seat forward and back really easily now with these new aluminum tracks. They've also got a bunch of different things you can do with this. You can lower this seat a little bit if you want to be a little closer to the water. There's a lift kit where you can lift that up if you want to make it a little taller. It's really all up to you. That's totally the Nucanoe way, is to give you a basic design to be able to then put into whatever dream it is that you have on the water. All right, so we're at the back of the boat now. We've got still our tracks run back here. Again, tons of track options. We've got 2 more on the gunnels right behind the seat. We've got 2 in the back of the boat here, so if you want to lash a tackle system back here, you can do it there. You can do it right behind the seat. And then you've also got 2 tracks on the very back of the boat here, which are going to allow you to put a VisiCarbon pole so that you can stay safe in the dark. You've also got different options for mounting power poles back here, torpedo motors. There's a lot of different options back here. We've got 2 flush mount rod holders right here. So these are going to hold a couple rods. They have swapped out the foam gaskets for a new premium silicone gasket, which will keep that even more watertight, which is fantastic. You'll see that we've got channels still running back here, so this is going to drain that water very quickly if any of it does collect in the back of the boat under power. And then we've got a deck plate back here, deck hatch, that unscrews and pops off of there. And they've raised this back here so that it does not sit in the water that collects at the back of the boat while under power. So again, another one of those features where they're really listening to their customer base and putting features into the boat that people are asking for. Right next to this hatch here, we've got 2 more inserts or molded in spots for those Yak Attack through hole wiring kits. So if you're running wiring to the back of the boat, whether it be for a motor or for lights or anything else, you've got a nice easy option to go ahead and install those right there. The new boats will be coming with a kit of Yak Attack through-hole wiring kits. So you can choose where you want to put those to, whether it be back here or at the front of the boat. Moving back here a little bit more, we've got a brand new handle. And if you guys are Nucanoe owners, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. This changes the way that this boat gets carried. For a long time, they had a rope handle with a little T-grip on it. It was pretty difficult to manage. This new handle is great. It's very, very burly, so you can lift up on that really easily. It has a little bit of play with it, so as you're walking around, you're not having to pivot your hand. It's moving with you, which is really nice. If you do want it to be static, if you want it to stay in the upward position or the down position, there is a pin that you can slide on either side of this handle here and keep it in that position, which is really nice. All right, back at the back of the boat here, we do have a drain plug here, so if any water does get into the boat, you can drain it right out using that. We see some new features here at the back of the boat. It looks overall pretty similar, but Nucanoe's added some little features that make this a lot better. So first off, we got a couple of channels on the inside of the transom here, and then we've got some new kind of design to the back of the boat here. And what this does is any time that you have depressions in the boat or things with angles like this, is it adds strength and rigidity. So this is going to be a much stronger transom than we've seen in the past from Nucanoe. It's going to be able to handle any motor that's designed for this type of a craft just fine. We've also got a hole through the center of this transom right here. This is used in a few different applications. Number one, they do have a cart that plugs right into this, so you just throw your one-wheel cart in the back here and you're off and running. It's also used in some of the transom mount applications that they sell as aftermarket parts. Looking at the bottom of this Unlimited, looks pretty different than most of the kayaks that we look at. We've got a really wide base here, an overall fairly flat design to the hull of the boat here. We do have some lines that run with the scupper here, these channels here that line up with the scuppers, and these are going to help with the tracking of the boat, and then obviously providing a spot for those scuppers to be at. Inside these channels here, we've got a bunch of holes here. So I mentioned earlier that this has 7 scupper holes, and you're probably wondering, what the heck are all these holes for then? Not all of these are actual scupper holes. So about every other one here, so this one here is a bump support. We've got another support here, another one here. So they're kind of mixed in here with the scuppers. And what that does is give you a little bit more rigidity in the floor of your kayak, so you're not going to see any movement on the floor. Really smart design by Nucanoe, especially in a big wide boat like this, to have some extra support on the bottom side. Right here in the middle, we've got a hollowed out area that will fit any of the transducers that you want to mount to this. It's got plenty of room here for any side scan type transducers, so even the big long ones will fit just fine in here. Like I mentioned earlier, there is a plan to have an accessory to put on here that will hold your transducer and add the function of retractability, which is really nice. Be able to have that transducer out and exposed to the water, and then go ahead and retract it, get it out of the way for when you're launching or beaching your kayak. Up at the bow, we've got a nice piercing bow, so this should track pretty well. It should shed water on either side, and if you're gonna see any rough water out there, it'll pierce through those waves pretty well. And then towards the back of the boat, it's pretty flat back here, a little bit different than most of the kayaks we see. I think that this flat design back here really gives a lot of maneuverability with this design. You do have the option, and a lot of people are going with a motor on the back of this boat, so having this flatter towards the back is going to give it a little bit better turning radius, as well as keeping the stability throughout the boat.
Well, first impressions, I really like it. Paddles really nicely. You know, it's a 12.5-foot long boat, so it's not the most straight arrow in the fleet, but it can hold the track really well while still being really maneuverable and stable. You can watch, you know, I'm going a decent casual paddling speed now, and with just a few strokes, able to stop, turn this around. Yeah, that flat back end really lets you pivot right on the stern of the boat, which is really nice for maneuverability. Whew, got some shallow water here. I've got 6 to 10 inches of water here, and I'm fine. This boat boasts to have 3 to 5 inch draft, which I'd say is about right. Still, I am touching a little bit on the sediment when I rock, but very nice. What's the point of standing up unless you're gonna fish? Wow, very good initial stability. This boat has some pretty sharp chines on it, which gives it a secondary stability, which you can feel as soon as you get to about right there. You can feel that other chine kick in and offer that secondary stability. There's lots of different kayaks out there. Some are easy to stand in, some aren't. This is definitely one that is easy to stand in. I'm sitting here and I'm not having to worry about my footing. I'm standing and fishing without having to think about that. That's exactly what you want in a stand-up capable kayak, is the ability to remove your mind from the stability aspect and really be able to dial in and focus on the fish. And I can do just that. I have no problem at all. Having this nice open bow allows me to swing my flipping bait really nice. So for those bass fishermen out there, that's a nice feature. A little bit earlier, I was kind of crawling up and down. I got to turn this GoPro on and off. I was all the way up in the bow of this thing on my hands and knees. I didn't feel uncomfortable in the slightest. Really good design. Very impressed. All right, I'm gonna do a hook set test here. Cast this out here. Just pretend that I'm gonna put a big old jig hook set onto this fish here. Oh, yep, oh, there he is. No problem. Barely a ripple. Yeah. Nice and stable. Let's see. Yeah, I can even walk on this boat, which for me, I'm a bigger guy, This is not something that I can do on a lot of boats, but being able to actually move my feet around just shows you how stable this kayak is. And not everybody likes to stand and fish. Man, rock solid, you guys. Getting up and down, very stable, very impressed. But what I was saying earlier, not everybody likes to stand when they fish. Some people fish sitting in a seated position. If that's you and you're not super, comfortable with your stability or your balance, the seat is still plenty high enough off of the floor of the kayak here that I've got plenty of room for casting. You can side cast without a problem. Do my little sidearm flip that I do when I'm flipping. Perfect. So I'm way up here in the bow. I've had to reach up and turn this this camera on and off, and I'm up in the nose of this thing, and I just touched the very front, the very bow of the boat. I've got some water coming in. You're not really designed to be sitting all the way up here, but just goes to the show the stability of this whole design is fantastic. Right back up into the seated position. You know, I'm comfortable turning this seat on its side. You know, reaching back into the tank well area. Very nice. We'll let you know with this 41-inch width, you're gonna want a long paddle. This here is the Warner Shuna hooked model. This is a 240 centimeter to 260 adjustable. So you've got this adjustability here in the center. And I'm using every bit of that extra 20 centimeters. I've got it out to 260. And I wouldn't want it to be any shorter than that. I'm paddling out at Scappoose Bay today. If you guys aren't aware, we've got a location out here right at the boat ramp. We've got a floating dock house. That's what we were shooting the other portion of the video in. And this place is an incredible place to come paddle. All kinds of different options. You can go out to the Multnomah Channel, all the way out to the Columbia River if you want. Or you can stick to the backwater areas. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. Just beautiful. Let's turn and give you a shot of what I'm looking at here. Let's take a look at this floor. I've been talking about how all these ridges really add structure and stiffness to the floor of this kayak. I want to see what it looks like when I'm standing up. Yeah, I can't get it to flex at all, you guys. I know this has been a concern and a complaint in the past with some kayaks. And it's definitely not in this one. No flexing at all. Let's go ahead and see how well you can paddle this from a standing position. Some mud on there. Actually kind of using this as a push pole because it's pretty shallow right here. Nice and stable, easy.
All right, that's the Nucanoe Unlimited. If you like this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button. We will have more content coming to you in the near future. If you have any questions about this or any other kayaks, you can leave a comment below. And until next time, get out on the water, do some paddling, catch some fish, and we'll see you soon.